Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Today we are going to use these guys right here, the conventional micrometer, and we're going to talk about how to measure with it. Now, handling, calibration, physical interaction with the micrometer are also things we're going to cover, but today we're just going to cover how to read the number of inches indicated in this area right here. Now, you'll notice I have three micrometers in front of me, and you'll notice that one doesn't have a ratchet, and then these two both have different forms of ratchet. This one has an extra friction sleeve here. Basically, we have a couple of different styles of micrometer. They might be different here, but the measurement here is always going to be the same. The measurement process, the way they look, the way they operate. So, with that said, I'm going to just take one of these. I'm going to take this guy right here. Now, it's important to realize that what we're doing is we're taking 1 inch and we're dividing it into 1,000 pieces for right now, okay? So everything we're doing here is in 1/1000th of an inch. When we talk about these things, when I talk about the amount here, I'll describe it in thousandths of an inch, okay? So 1/1000th of 1 inch. So first thing I always have to do when I use a micrometer is zero check it. Now, what that means is I need to close the micrometer entirely, right? And then what I need to do is I'm going to zoom in here, and I need to verify that it zeroes correctly. In other words, does this zero right here line up with this line right here? If it does not, okay, so just to give you an example, if it's like this, okay, that's an issue, because if it's fully closed and it's reading like this, that means there's something in between those two measuring surfaces right there, okay? Easiest way to clean it and get it out is to take any piece of paper, put it between the anvil and the spindle on the micrometer. You can see there, I'm right between there. I'm grabbing down on it a little bit, close it, yank the paper out sideways. Should be good to go now. Okay, so now I'm ready to take a measurement. Let's say I want to measure this guy right here, the thickness. I'm going to take my mic, I'm going to open it nice and wide so I've got plenty of room to work. Drop my micrometer on here, close it down, and in this case, I'm twisting this till it doesn't go any further. That means I'm clamped down reasonably tight. Now, I'm closed totally, so now I can take my measurement. This is where we're going to get into something we've hopefully discussed in class before, which is measuring using this area here, using dollars, quarters, and pennies. I'll show you what I'm on about in 1 second. Let me zoom in. Okay, so what I've got down here is, this is called the barrel of the micrometer. And on the micrometer barrel, or up here, you've got 0, 1, 2, 3. These are dollars, basically. So in other words, because I can see the 1, the 2, and the 3, I know I've got $3. It's actually 300,000ths of an inch, but we're treating individual thousandths like pennies. So 300 pennies is what we're getting here, okay? Then, if we go a little further along, you can see that each dollar is divided with 3 lines. That's equal to 4 spaces, 4 quarters. Each one of those is a quarter, right? So if I come over here, I can see 1, 2 little quarters after the 3. That tells me I've got 2 quarters there, 50 cents. And then finally, if I look over here, my nearest number to this center line, right? As a matter of fact, I'm going to adjust it here real quick, just to make sure we're as perfect as we can be. So this center line here translates over to the 18. I read the pennies from here. There's no dimes and there's no nickels. It's just dollars, quarters, and pennies. So if I've got those 3 numbers, $3, 2 quarters, 18 pennies, what I can do is add those numbers together. I got $3, 50 cents, 2 quarters, and 18 pennies. If I add them all together, I wind up with 3.68. In the money world, we're looking at $3.68. we're equating this to thousandths of an inch. So the last thing I need to make sure that I do is I take this decimal point right here and I move it over to here. So instead of $3.68, I have 0.368 inches. Okay, 368 thousandths of an inch. It's just over 1/3 of an inch. Okay, so that's what our measuring process looks like. Next, we're going to measure some other things, and we're going to go through them item by item, and we're going to compare to see if you guys can get the same numbers that I do. Okay, let's begin. So, how about this guy right here? This is a piece of copper, just a random piece of metal, a lot like some of your projects are gonna start with. I'm gonna come over here. I'm gonna close the micrometer down on the copper till it doesn't move. Till it can't move. I'm gonna zoom in so you guys can see it. All right, so question number 1. How many dollars can you see on this image right now? Let me refocus. If I look over here, how many dollars can I see? All right, next question. After the dollar, how many lines can I count? Right? How many lines? So I've got the 1. How many of these can I count? Okay, finally, pennies. The pennies are here. Which penny comes closest to lining up with this line right here? So, we had $1. We had 3/4, 75 cents. And finally we had 12 pennies. Giving us a total of $1.87, or actually, move over the decimal point, we wind up with a distance or thickness. This copper bar is 0.187 inches thick, also known as 187 thousandths of an inch thick. This is kind of how we do things within the manufacturing world. All right, so we're going to move on to another item. Let's do a common one that we use a lot. The drill bit. I'm even going to switch micrometers. So, check my mic. Clean it first with a piece of paper. Put the piece of paper in there. Oh, a little too tight. Oh, I was on the sticky side of the Post-it. Okay, so pull that out. Verify that we've got a nice clean 0. The 0 right here looks good to me. So then I'm going to take this fun little drill bit here and I'm going to measure it. Now, I'm going to measure it kind of near the middle. Traditionally, if you're measuring a drill bit, you want to measure right here near the end. I'm going to go a little bit more towards the middle because it's easier to see what I'm doing for this video. But close all the way down on it. Okay, first of all, let's move this over a little bit. I can see the 1, but can I see the line that's attached to it? So how many dollars do I actually have there? Okay, secondly, quarters. How many quarters can I count? Third, pennies. Obviously, I've got my middle line here. What number on the pennies dial lines up closest with the number? Lines up closest with the center line. We had $0. We had 3/4, again, 75 cents. And we had 22 pennies. So if we add all this together, we wind up with .97, well, 97 cents. We still need to move the decimal place over though, so we wind up with 0.097 inches. Okay, so just under 1/10 of an inch, 97th out. Hopefully this is a different way of approaching this measuring challenge. Please remember that not only do we have micrometers like this guy that measure from 0 to 1 inches, we have bigger ones like this guy. This measures from 1 to 2 inches, and then the next one up, and the next one up. They normally come in sets, and I think our set is out to 6 inches. Hopefully this helps. Take care.